back in the world of Super Battletoad. As you can see, I somehow got lucky and ended up getting a no item run on Transformation Boost, which is not. I mean, I don't want to say that this was easy, but it was way easier than I thought it was going to be. Because if I remember correctly, the last time I did Transformation Boost, I think I used the Boo team and basically just did a bunch of damage down. And holy shit, dude, fucking Cooler is a god, bro. Like, I'm not gonna lie, I'm thankful. Yahweh, Jesus, Allah, all the lords that you could think of, the old and the new. For Cooler, I ended up getting him off a single. Dude, he is so goddamn good, dude. The fact that he can have Janemba on this team, and he can also have his boy Golden Frieza as like mega tanks. And then you have attack down from the Coolers, who you bring as a leader. You also have attack down from Baby. Like, this team is unstoppable. What can stop him? By the way, let me just say, using this team has just really increased my love and affection for 5 full power Omega Super Duper Cooler. Final Form Cooler, whatever. He is really, really good. Dude, I think Final Form Cooler is the only card in this game that has been good since release and has never not been good. Like, this motherfucker's been a god, like, all this time. And he's never gotten an easy A. I don't remember when he was released, but I feel like for full power Cooler, whenever he gets his easy A, it's going to be miraculous, because most of the time when you get an easy A for these cards, it's like they're irrelevant, they're not that great, you know, either their defense is crappy, like Int Majin Buu, Super Buu, where he had like no defense, or the attack is kind of lacking in the case of Janemba. But dude, Phi Cooler is so goddamn good, dude. Just the fact that with one support and big bad bosses, he's hitting for like 2.4 million, and he can do like up to 3 supers, which is ridiculous. Like, the fact that he came out so long ago and he's still so damn. Look at that, bro. 2.4 million, bro. Are you serious? Are you serious right now? My God. And let me tell you something. He ain't do just double. He ain't just do just double. He go for the triple threat, bro. That's crazy. And he lowers defense on every super. Dude, I'm telling you, 5 full power fucking Cooler, Final Form, Cooler. Amazing, dude. I think he's one of the few cards that, from creation to now, has never been asked. But yeah, the last time I did this Transformation Boost was like a million zillion years ago. And I don't remember what changed between then and now. Probably, if I had to take a guess, it probably would be the fact that Janemba got his EZA, which is humongous, because now he can dodge and he has more defense. The cards I have got better in terms of the EZAs. You know, obviously Frieza, this TUR Frieza, got his EZA, so now he's more of a tank even when the HP low. And as you can see here, I actually tried not to get a super with Janemba because I wanted Cell to get a super, because when Cell supers, he gets like, I don't know, he gets some amount of HP back. It's either 10% or some shit. I honestly don't remember. I could actually look right now, and I can learn what he gets from his HP. His 12 key super attack recovers 10% HP, which is actually pretty good, dude. You do 2 supers, which sometimes he does do, and you end up getting 20% HP back. That's not bad, bro. That's pretty damn good. And by the way, let me just say, I think an integral part of this no item run is the fact that I have Super Duper Baby. And you'll see for the next rotation, because basically it's the first fight is Krillin, Gohan, or not Gohan, Tien, and Piccolo. Second one is 17-18. Last one is just the fucking Ultimate Gohan. And he's a piece of garbage because he supers first turn almost always. And it's really hard to like do enough damage down and have enough blockers to like avoid his mega damage. I ended up getting really, really lucky because the first time he supered, I think I was already Great Ape, and then the second time I was Baby, so it wasn't like, you know, killer. I actually got here pretty easily. It's pretty easy to get to the end with this team to Gohan, but then Gohan is like the final backbreaker where like you see that dude and you just like, come on, bro, just please don't super me. And then what does he do? He supers you straight to the face. But yeah, this team is so damn good. Like, it's really like, it's one of those teams where I feel like in the game, like there's certain good teams. Like for example, I have the LR, Gohan and Goten, which are inarguably probably the best LR, one of the best. And their team is so boring. Like honestly, I like their team is very, very attack based, very stacked defense based. Whereas with this team, I feel like it's more fun because it's very rare to like have a good villains team. And I also like the synergy of like how you use the different characters. For example, you'll use the first form coolers for the attack down and for the defense lowering, mostly the attack down. And then also you'll see the dichotomy of basically trying to get Baby on the right turn. Cause I'm kicking Baby off this rotation, hoping that by the next time he shows up, he'll go Great Ape for Gohan. And it's just a lot going on. Like this is big brain activity, you know what I mean? And I got a big brain. Mostly because I've been studying for interviews, and that has boosted my mental capacity. And by the way, right here, my intention was basically to keep. The reason why I'm putting Phi Cell in front is because I wanted the Metamorphosis HP to keep going, basically. And I think that I did enough attack down where it shouldn't be bad. Like, even if he were to super, I don't think I'd die. Thankfully, he did not. But it's basically one of those things where you gotta make sacrifices. You gotta make some movements, big brain movements. But yeah, the past week I've actually been a busy guy. Even though I've been home, beautiful additional. Even though I've been home, I've been taking interviews, doing interviews. I actually had one interview that was pretty good with TikTok, aka ByteDance. Which is kind of weird. I feel like any company that I'm not interested in, super interested in, I'll do great on the interview because I'm not worried whatsoever. Whereas with interviews like Amazon or companies that are near me, I'll just choke because I'm retarded and I'm afraid of success at any level. But the interview went pretty good. I'll probably try to get more information from them because when I was talking to the guy, I was trying to get more information about the role. So like for certain job applications, it'll be like super duper clear. Like, there's been a couple software development jobs where it's like, you're going to work on microservices. You're going to be doing, development on this service, on this space, and this and that and that and this and those. And it's pretty clear and it makes sense. Whereas with this, it's a little bit more vague in terms of, like, what they're asking, what they want. So I want to try to get as much information as possible, maybe from someone who works on the team. Because talking to this guy, he doesn't work on the team, and it was kind of weird because the questions I was asking was like, like what's your regular day to day? Like what does it look like to take software from the beginning phase and get into production? He's like, well, when you're doing this, it's kind of like less to do with development, more to do with the algorithm, and more to do with like thinking, designing, creating. And like that's fine, but like I don't know, like I kind of wanted something that was more in line with my current development job. Just because that's what I thought the posting was. And also, like, what he was describing sounded like something someone with more experience would do. Although I think I have enough experience, like, just enough. It sounds like almost like a junior architect or a junior, or maybe like a tech lead or, like, not a tech lead, but, like, a more senior position. But what the job asks for is, like, 2 years experience, which is not that much, honestly. Usually for stuff like that, it's usually, like, 3 to 5 years is what I see. Either way, I mean, I'm just trying to find out more information because talking to the guy, like, it seemed a little bit hard to pinpoint what exactly the job description was. Like, the job description wasn't super specific, and then talking to him, it wasn't super specific either. But I had the interview; it was pretty good. It wasn't that bad. I actually was surprised how well I did because it was a problem I never ever saw before, and it was pretty. I guess it wasn't that bad because it basically was in CoderPad, which is like some shared text editor. And he basically gave me a problem where it's like a binary tree, not a binary search tree, just a binary tree, where you're given some target node in the tree. And from that target node, you need to find every node that is k nodes away. So, for example, if you're given a binary tree where the root is 1, and then you have 2 children, you have 1 and then 2 and 3. And then say that your target node is like, let's just say 3, and you want to go 1 away. So if your target node is 3, and the structure is root 1, left 2, right 3, target is 3, and then 1 distance, it would just be like everything that's 1 away. And you traverse it by node, and each node you go to is -1 distance. So in that case, it would be root. Root would be the only thing. 1 would be the only thing. For other cases, a little bit harder. I found the problem on LeetCode. I'm actually doing it now just to make sure like the solution I gave him makes the most sense. I think it does at the time in terms of explaining it. I think I got my point across. But I also could have done it in a way where it was easier. I think I made it harder for myself because what I ended up doing, my solution for him, was kind of like the generic whenever you're doing a binary tree. It's basically, walk down the left, walk down the right, and whatever is a distance away, you basically pass in an integer, and every time you advance in the tree, you increment the integer, and at any point you get to a node where the integer is the same as the limit being like 1 or whatever, then you return that node, which was pretty easy. Everything below was easy. That was super easy. What was hard was up, what was above, because what I should have done, what I saw in one of the solutions that like sparked my memory and like made it easier, was that it basically was you just create a hash map of every parent of the node, and then that's how you traverse up, that's how you go up. And I actually have a pretty decent solution right now. The only case I'm missing is like I think is if you need to go to root and go to a different node. That's the thing, like with problems like this, I feel like it's so it's so weird. Like I feel like you can't ever get it 100% correct unless you like studied the problem in the past and like you're super duper familiar with it. Because I think what I did, my solution was not using the parent map. What I did was basically everything below the node, which was easy, like I said, because you could just do pre-order traversal or whatever traversal, and you just go down. And then going up, what I did was I just printed the tree in pre-order. And when you print a tree in pre-order, it's basically from the root and then everything under the root. So it's like top down, if you want to think about it like that. So for example, 1, 2, if you have a root of 1, left 2, right 3, pre-order traversal of that would be 1, 2, 3, and then etc. etc. And then what I did was, and this will work for some cases but not all cases, is that from the pre-order list, I went to the left n times, depending on the limit. And then if I got to root, what I did was that I just did going down from root, which kind of sort of worked. At least talking to him and talking through it, I feel like I made enough sense where he's like, all right, fair enough. Like, I get your point. Like, this makes sense, that makes sense. Like, I did good enough. And also the fact is that when I was doing the interview, he basically gave me like the problem, but without the tree. So there was no way for me to print it out. There was no way for me to confirm the information. I even told him, I'm like, hey, listen, like, I'm not used to this where it's something where, I'm just given this, entity, and I'm not allowed to test it. I'm not allowed to, print out, do some sanity testing. Is it right if I do a Google search just to make sure I'm doing pre-order correctly? And I was, but I wanted to make sure. I'm like, I want to Google this because like I can't print this out. I can't check for sure. And he's like, yeah, that's fine. It's more to do with the problem solving than the actual like small specifics, which is pretty cool. I like in-person interviews a lot more than the automated like here's the problem, do the problem. I mean, they're not terrible. I've done them. For some of them, they've been really draining. Like the one for, what was it? I think there was like some company where it forced you to record your webcam. So like I had to like set up my phone to like look at me and have my webcam set up. And it was so draining. Like for this guy, we were on webcam. We were talking to each other, but it was more natural because you're just talking to a person. Whereas with this, it's like, I record myself. I send it to you. You make sure I'm not cheating. It's like, it's so weird. But yeah, I've been studying for interviews. I've been getting better at the interviews. I kind of wish if I could go back in time. I think the biggest mistake I made is that the first time I applied to jobs, I was so used to them like not replying to me in 2 months, and like basically I was just like a junior engineer with no real world experience. Like I had experience, but not that much. So I was expecting like when I applied to jobs now, it'd be like 2 months, maybe 3 months to get back to me. I'm like last guy on the list. Whereas now, dude, I apply. These dudes immediately get me an interview room, and they immediately want me, which is a good thing because it means that the experience I have is valuable. But it was a bad thing for me because the first job I applied to was the job I wanted most, which was Amazon, which was near me. And I was like, fuck, man. Like, I wish I studied more. I wish I had more experience in terms of interviewing. But you know what? I've been studying, and the way that Amazon is that within 6 months of your interview, my interview was like March something. So maybe March, April, May, June, July, August, September. So around September, I'll probably apply again if I don't leave my company. But yeah, that's pretty much it. As you can see, I did the no item run beautifully. This cooler is amazing, dude. Like, he is so much fun. Like, I'm happy that I got him from a single, and I'm also happy that I didn't spend my stones like a monk, because 5th year anniversary is going to be lit. But at the same time, I'm retarded because I did do the LR banner, which, is an L all in of